I agree with what you're saying. But let's transition into spoilers so we can better talk about Guy.
I can breathe.
To talk about. All right. So if you don't want to hear any spoilers, you should probably just tune out now. We'll put a timestamp anyway. All right. So 3, 2, 1. All right. Cool. Spoilers now.
Okay, spoiler now, right? Okay, so how I would have liked that ending to be, because basically when I loved the idea of them dipping into the whole dwell in the dark thing. I thought this is cool because, like we were talking about on the bus on the way back here, about how they've done space, right? They've done space. They've basically just gone to space and done all the space stuff, and now it feels like they're dipping into a different part of the Marvel universe, which is to do with alternate realities, like dark zones and so on and so forth. And when I googled Dweller in the Dark, I was like, I don't know who this character is. Let me just Google it.
The Dweller in the Darkness.
And when you look at him, he's basically like a humanoid-shaped guy. He's quite big. He's a humanoid-shaped guy, and he has like an octopus face. He's very similar to Cthulhu looking. Yeah. And he has armor. A version of him has armor, but he has 2 eyes and like octopus face, kind of thing, right? And what I almost wish that they did, even though I don't know how much sense it would make, is if behind that wall wasn't this giant monster thing. Like, let's remove the dragon. We can hint to the dragon. The fact that the dragon's giving them powers, fine, great, love it. I was surprised that they brought the dragon out. I was like, okay, that's fair enough. And the reason they did that was because the thing was this huge monster, right? So it made sense for them to have their own big monster to fight it with, right? But I almost kind of wish that even if the Dweller in the Dark never came out, right, and he left that for a different thing, and he just had a really sick fight scene with his dad. Even though the fight scene he had was good, but it was more special effectsy than it was kung fu-y in my head, and I wanted it to be more kung fu. Like that fight he has with the fight he has on the bus, the fight he has with the guy with the blue gi. With the 2 daggers and stuff.
Oh, the guy with the mask and this.
The mask.
I thought they were going to have a teacher.
Yeah, I thought they were going to have like a proper fight. Then he basically defeated him. I was like, oh shit,
that easy.
So I kind of wanted more. And I actually really like the way his father uses the 10 rings. Like when he goes into that cafe and just murks people, and I'm just like, jeez, And I really wanted like a really sick martial arts fight to end it off, and we didn't get that, and that was a bit of a shame. And even though I don't really understand, I'm hoping, as you said before, Demi, that he doesn't keep the 10 rings. Yeah, I'm hoping that
I hope he doesn't keep
something happens and they kind of like just go away. Yeah, because
I don't
know, because it's almost like I think I give them a lot of remit to remake characters, but you've taken the Mandarin's 10 rings and you've given it to Shang-Chi permanently.
Yeah, unless they do some sort of a storyline where he can't use the powers for a little bit, then he regains his honor. Well, these stories when it's like, they find that little gap in his psyche and then he gets it back. But I don't really see him
because it's not. I mean, it's canon by MCU standards, but it's not like Mandarin and Shang-Chi have no relation. Shang-Chi is kung fu, strictly kung fu. Yeah. He doesn't do anything else. And the Mandarin is quite well. They made a very good version of him, and I'm quite happy with the MCU version of him. But him owning Shang-Chi owning the 10 rings, I'm fine with it right now because I don't care enough about the character. I don't know enough about the character. But to me, I feel like, you're taking one like a big villain's powers and you're giving it to, this. Hero when these aren't his powers at all.
The appeal of him is the kung fu, not the rings.
There's nothing to do with rings. He has zero to do with the rings, so I'm curious to what they do with it. And to be honest, I don't think I care enough about the character that I'd be like, oh my god, how can they keep the 10 rings? But it's a little bit like, this is going really out of your out of canon comic stuff. Yeah. Whatever.
If anything, he'll probably lose them when they find the true inheritor of the rings. They kind of hinted at that. In the post-credit scene. So probably have
So
this
I'm
big
thinking that'll
fight, and then
happen.
they'll introduce the main villain of the phase or whatever, and then they'll probably rip the rings out of his hands or something.
Yeah, or something. Yeah, but I think that's the only thing that I didn't like that was spoiler related, or I thought could be better spoiler related.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would have said. And then it got very. I could tell it was going to go this way in the trailers, but the whole kind of when I said it became Dynasty Warriors at the end towards the end, where he's even got the special move. Everyone's got the special moves that defeats multiple people at once.
But what did he do?
Just jumping off the dogs and then hitting people with a stick. That stick being a magic stick, the magic
was it infused
the scales on the stick.
Yeah, the scales on the stick, and it's just like, okay, I get it. But, yeah.
Well, I mean, I kind of like how they have there's almost like consequences because these demon spawn thingies come out of the cave and they kill a significant number of people. And
they do. They do kill a lot of people.
Yeah.
They do kill a lot of people, but like again, I think it's just relates to the whole kind of my whole thing of so much special effects and not as much kung fu.
Did you expect a lot of kung fu going into? I know that we was kind of spoiled in the first half of it. It's like, okay, but did you expect there to be so much of a kung fu element compared to the fantasy?
Yes, I did. I did.
Yeah.
I didn't even expect that much fantasy, to be honest. Like, I thought it was going to be kung fu and 10 rings. I didn't even expect as much fantasy as we got. I didn't hate it, but I probably would have dialed down on it. I would have preferred that it was dialed down a little bit because I think it took a lot away from the kung fu-ness of the and let's not lie. I'm not going to even pretend like the kung fu in this movie was as good as like the Raid or like Jackie Chan's like old school stuff where the kung fu was just so like so good or Ip Man or whatever where the kung fu is like it's so good.
Yes, awesome.
It wasn't like that, but it was good though.
Yeah, it was good.
Like there were certain scenes where I was like, that's sick.
Even the last fight with his dad, I was like, even
the last fight with his dad. But the
sick.
thing is, last fight with dad could have been so much better though, because it wasn't that great. It was just I didn't think it was that great.
I feel like he should
fine.
have beat his dad without. I think it would have been better if he beat his dad without getting the rings. You see what I mean?
Also, there's no explanation as to even how he gets the rings. Like I don't.
The dad gave it to him.
He just kind of
no. When they were fighting.
Oh, when he stole it.
When he stole it, there is no
yeah.
explanation as to how that's even possible. Like, how did he?
Other than he's just the kind of the true inheritor.
I mean, other than because even the mother did it.
Yeah.
The mother did it with 5 of them, but they don't. And that's the only thing that links to the fact that he can do it. He's learned a similar technique, so he's also
from his mom.
Yeah, but there's nothing really to explain how.
Is there? But you can say in the same way. How is the mother able to do it in the beginning?
That's what I'm saying. There's nothing to explain. The only thing that links us to it is just the fact that the mother did it in the beginning. But there's no explanations to like. I thought just like redirection, but she turned it into a mini Kamehameha.
Maybe it's like some sort of like her clan's powers to do it, something like that.
Maybe they'll go into it in the future. Maybe it's like something passed down. Like, I don't know.
Because you remember even in the beginning when he was supposed to go into his Shang-Chi's mother's village to get something, and then he just kind of maybe he was going there for a reason. He was and then he went there.
Mandarin.
He fought. The Mandarin was going in there to
for some power.
To basically learn the god techniques or whatever,
or something like that.
He wants to learn their kung fu, basically.
Yeah. And then he gets stopped by the mother, and then they never go back into that, by the way.
No, I think what he wanted to do was go there and to learn their techniques.
Yeah,
because I think at the beginning he said like, they use like this like kung fu of the gods or whatever, a technique of the gods, and I think that that was what I think he was going there to learn or to collect or to get or whatever. And that was the thing that I think that his mom ended up teaching the son, and what he learned from the auntie as well. I think that's what it was that he wanted.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I thought that was like his true motivation for going back, when you said, I need to go back to his mum village. But then they kind of swerved and said because they wanted to save
the mum thing.
Yeah, I thought that was it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I liked that. I thought that was a really good twist. When he started talking about it, I was like getting confused. I was like, isn't the mum dead? Like, what are you talking about? And then when you hear the voice, and I was like, what the fuck's going on here? You ain't lying. What? What's going on? And I quite like that they humanized him.
Yeah.
I don't actually know what Mandarin is
grief,
like.
man. The guy was just grief.
The guy was just grieving.
Yeah.
It's hard grief and desperation.
Yeah.
You know, he just like first gash.
Yeah, it's just, I think they did really well. Like, it's the same thing with like how they make Killmonger so sympathetic. Like, in the way, like, the struggle that he was talking about, you're like, yeah. I understand. I understand.
Like, I get it.
They ain't right, but I understand.
It's the wrong way of doing it, but I get where you're coming from.
But then with the Mandarin, it's like,
it.
you know, like...
That's Tag 2 villain 101.
Clutching at whatever opportunity there is to kind of... Because that was the only time he would have been... He felt content.
Yeah,
when he was like, she was alive, done. Yeah. So, like... Yeah, it's quite deep. I sort of felt quite bad for him. Well,
yeah, I really also quite like the development of the main character.
Yeah,
like his training, why his training started, like how he was trying to basically be like make his like please his dad, and then the dad basically because you send him off and then nothing happens, right? And then they even go back to that and be like, okay, this is why he gets sent off, and you know it all kind of connects together rather than just like my dad just being a dick. It's like, no, we're avenging your mother. This is why you're doing this, you know, so that next time when someone's in trouble, you're not going to be just there being like, you know, I'm just hiding behind a window. Even that bit where he yells at him and goes like, you hid by a window and watch her die kind of thing. I was like, and when he punches him into the river and you can see his face, that punch, I was like, oh, that's a dirty punch. And when you see his face and he's like almost. It's like contorting. He's just like, I just killed my son.
Yeah,
and he's like, but I need to, I need to save my wife.
I need to save my wife. Yeah.
Like I can't stop now.
It's
like,
a small price to pay.
For this, you know, like, but you can feel like he's like struggling with it. And I liked many of that, and the acting as well was really quite good.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that most of the cast were like. Not many. They weren't all Chinese, but they were made out to be all Chinese.
It was like like you said.
It was the Black Panther from yeah. And I think that's great. Like, that gives it even more points. And I know people are going to hate me for this. It's a better movie than Black Panther. It just is.
Yeah, it is.
It's a better movie. The story's better. The story's better. Sorry.
You're going to get...
Let him send the hate. I've said this from day one when I watched Black Panther. I was like,
to try and take your black card away.